Do you ever wonder why some players seem to be right on with their aim, while you seem to miss some of your shots in the same situation? I mean, some players are always going to be just a better shot than you, but in many cases, it's to do with the frames per second, and probably your lack of a high frames per second, especially if your PC is a bit on the older side. In this video, I'm going to show you how to increase your FPS without the need to buy an expensive new PC. Hi guys, so last week my PC died, and over the last week while I've been sorting out parts and building the new PC and getting everything back up and running and correctly installed and whatnot, I was thinking about people with older or slower PCs, kind of like what I did have. Ring of Elysium is actually really good for lower spec machines, as it runs pretty well for them despite the lower power. I mean, sometimes on my old machine I used to struggle with games like PUBG and similarly sort of higher spec games, but with Ring of Elysium I didn't seem to get that same issue. Now, there's obviously a big difference between a high-spec machine and a low-spec machine, regardless of what game you're playing. But I find that with Ring of Elysium, the low-spec PC can keep up with someone on a higher-spec PC. It is noticeably easier to play with a better PC, but this is due to a lot of factors. One of them is the better frame rate you can have with the better PC. Having a better frame rate essentially smooths the game's animation out, making it easier to target an enemy, especially if they're traveling fast, so in a vehicle, or on a bike in the new map, or any other sort of fast-moving vehicle. So if you're unable to upgrade for whatever reason to get a new PC, you're going to want to try and scrape out every extra little FPS bump you can get. As on a lower-end PC, it's going to help you to play better and be more competitive. So the point of this video is to help you do just that. So let's get into it. The first thing you can do is make sure your graphics card driver is up to date. If it's not, this may not be optimized fully and can cause lower frames per second. This is really easy to fix. Just go to the main site for whatever type of card you've got, as in an NVIDIA card. Don't go to the specific Asus brand or whoever it is. Just go to NVIDIA and download whatever the current driver is for your card. So for me, when I'm upgrading my graphics driver, I go to the NVIDIA site, I look up the driver, and I download the correct one for my version of Windows, and then I install that. New drivers come out all the time, so it's worth checking once every month or a couple of weeks or a couple of months just to make sure they stay updated, because it can make a difference. The second thing you can do is clean your PC. Now, this might sound stupid, but really, clean it, especially if it's on the carpet or on the ground under your desk. It picks up so much dust and other crap that gets in there. So, if you've got a vacuum with one of those little brush attachments for it, grab that, turn your computer off, open the side of the case, get that brush vacuum in there, carefully vacuum and brush all the dust that's caught up in everything. Your video card vents, your CPU fins, anything at all. So any fans that have like attached onto say like a radiator or onto like a heat sink or on your graphics card coolers, everything for that, anywhere where there's dust in there, try and get that dust out, because they're there to disperse the heat and they can't do that when it's caked full of dust. If it's caked full of dust, it will affect your performance massively. So the third thing you can do is you can reduce your resolution. If you can handle playing on a slightly lower resolution, that will also increase the frames per second. The fourth thing you can do is optimize your PC to ensure that Ring of Elysium, or really any game, has priority. You go in and you shut down any unneeded programs that you're not currently using. This will free up memory space for Ring of Elysium or whatever game. You could also use something like the Razer Game Booster. That can do most of it for you without you needing to go in and turn off any other programs or whatnot yourself. There's a few other things you can do, like when the game's running, you can open up Task Manager. On the Details tab, right-click the Europa client and change the priority on that to high. That'll ensure that it's got the highest priority. If you're running an NVIDIA graphics card, you can go to your desktop and right-click, then open NVIDIA Control Panel. Then go into the Manage 3D Settings and select the Program Setting tab. Then click the Add button and add the Europa client. Next, you want to set antistropic filtering, anti-aliasing FXAA, and anti-aliasing mode to off. Then set maximum pre-rendered frames to 1, power management mode to prefer maximum performance, texture filtering quality to high performance, and threaded optimization to on. All of these will help with your frames per second. When you're in game, you want to go into your settings and lower some of your graphical settings as well. This will also help frames per second. Many people actually prefer to play on the lower settings anyway, even with a high-end PC, just because it makes it easier for spotting enemies. This can be done yourself. You go into the settings screen in-game and then ensure the monitor mode is set to full screen. Because if it's in Windows mode, This causes a fair bit of FPS loss. Then turn off VSync and turn graphics quality and anti-aliasing to low, and turn the render style to vibrant, and ensure auto record is turned off. This will help with your PC doing the least amount of work other than making the game work for you. So there is a couple other options here that you can do as well. Depending on your hardware and how comfortable you are with this, you could attempt something like overclocking. It's pretty easy and safe nowadays to overclock your video card, with the manufacturers usually having some sort of software that comes with your video card that you can use to overclock them, or you can use a third-party software, something like MSI Afterburner or something like that, to overclock it. And it's really easy. It's just a slider and pressing OK. You can also overclock your CPU or your RAM, but if you don't know what you're doing, it can be a little bit risky and it can cook your hardware. I'm not going to do an in-depth explanation on how to overclock here. There's hundreds, if not thousands, of guides online that show you how to do it, so you can jump on there and have a look if you are interested. If you're looking to pay a little bit of money to get that extra boost, there is some options as well. So the best is going to be upgrading your video card. If you've got a 1050 or a 1060 or something older than that and you want to upgrade, the new 2060s have just come out and they're relatively cheap for what they are. If they work with your other hardware, that might be a good option. It would certainly give you a massive jump in frames per second. Your other option is, because all the new RTS cards did come out over the last couple of months, a lot of the 1070 Ti's, 1080s and 1080 Ti's have now dropped in price dramatically. If you were going to get a 1070, I'm probably suggest looking at a 2060 instead. But if you're thinking maybe a 1080 or a 1080 Ti, they've dropped in price in the second-hand market quite a lot now because of the new cards. And you can certainly pick them up pretty cheaply on sites like Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, Gumtree, or even eBay. Just be sure that you negotiate for a good price when you're doing it. And if you're patient and you do a bit of research and you see roughly what they should be selling for, and you decide you want to go a little bit below that, and you stick to your price and you take your time, you can usually get what you're looking for the price that you want within a week or two. Hopefully after you've tried some or all of these options, you'll be getting a much better frames per second and be up there with the best of the gamers on the higher end PCs. Please remember, if you liked the video or it was helpful to you, please give it a big thumbs up, as this helps me to be seen by more people. Also, I am trying to get my subscriber base up to a point where I can monetize the channel, which will help me to bring out more videos. So if you could hit that subscribe button, it would be real helpful. It'll help me to put out more and better quality videos, and it will help to ensure the channel continues to grow and provide better content. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you got something out of this. If it helped you, leave a comment below to let us know how you went. Also, if you've got anything else about Ring of Elysium that you'd like to know more about, or you'd just like to see me make a video about, leave a comment below about that as well, and I'll see what I can do. Anyway, thanks again for watching. You guys are awesome. Have a good day.